27th of October 2018. It's a free country. You can hand out literature. And that's what someone looks like who's not in control of their emotions. Someone that is triggered by a piece of literature, which is something that I have here. I'll just put it on the wall. That's basically what's triggered them. What's triggered that gentleman. I'll have a bit of a read of that. Oh, it's got interesting. We've decided now that swearing all of a sudden is not acceptable, even though we've been doing it for the last hour. And now we need to put a halt on it. Because we're mean and cruel and we hate the poor. Gee whiz. So, here we go. There's a lot of people there all of a sudden. Am I right? Against... Well, I don't know who that is. So all we can do is guess. Are you alright?
Have you seen anything else?
No, I haven't. I've videoed both groups. I've got a YouTube channel. I was trying to get for transparency purposes, so they didn't say fake news. We were here. We were here. It was raining. We got wet. Yeah. So I'd like to hear both sides. I asked interviews for both groups. Everyone declined. So I couldn't get the idea of where they were coming from ideologically and how they want to achieve their aims and how they want to do it long term. Yep. So it was a bit of shouting, a bit of swearing, and no one really wants an interview. So I was here a couple of years ago when EDL marched through. I asked the same again, and I didn't get much of a response, to be fair. Right. But no, this thing's fizzled out. As soon as your colleagues turned up with this one van here, and that was the end of it. I got some literature off them.
Are you a journalist, like, or
a couple of years ago I did sociology and psychology at university. At college, but now I'm doing a law degree. Right. So I'm trying to apply the idea of human rights versus the enforcement on the ground. And what I find is it's a conflict in the sense of you're not able to. I find the conflict is you're not able to do it as the way it should be written in law because it's not realistic. I think the legal world and the real world that we happen to be studying right now conflicts with each other. Yeah. And this idea of peaceful protest tends to be a bit of a misnomer.
It's always going to be difficult, isn't it, when there's two sides with different opinions opposing opinions.
You want to balance rights with risks and rewards and responsibilities, and I think that's, again, I don't think any two people on the planet agree on anything. I think there's a lot of people.
Going to be something, yeah.
I think people are pulling in different directions. So what I'm interested in is actually, I'm one of the rare people that I want to hear both sides. I don't want free speech to be restricted. I want to hear everything they've got to say because I want to know who they are, where they're coming from, what they stand under, and where they want to go in the future. And I can't assess these sort of people in these groups if we restrict them. Yeah. Because otherwise they just go underground and we don't see a damn thing then, and then we're all second guessing each other. So I like these demonstrations, particularly the ones that go off without much of a hitch.
It's a good example, isn't it?
It's a good example of policing and the community's just taking over. I've seen one reporter guy, he's there with his big massive camera, he always outdoes me. Yeah. So this was the only thing that's actually occurred. Everything else was pretty much peaceful up to this minute. But no, it fizzled out. Your colleagues came in really early on, and that's the end of it.
From a law point of view, did you see anything take place that...
Well, well, at a pinch, a little swearing off either side, so you can cancel each other out. So, and yes, you could say that going face to face with someone within an inch and taking up their personal space could be seen as a form of assault. Yeah. But no physical contact occurred. So if you want to get technical and fanning around with paperwork, but I think it'd be a 30 quid fine and a court's waste of time, which I tend to find conflicting as well in court. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot of hassle, and then you get there and it's 50 quid fine. You're thinking, was that really worth it? Could we have done something else instead?
There are always other ways of dealing with things, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, individual merits, and I think this is going to happen a lot more because I know that policing numbers have dropped from 125,000 to 121,000, and I think that's going to stretch even further. What also concerns me is the private security sector, particularly in London. They've started to deploy people on the streets to fill the gap, and that's always a worry. Because it's like that means we're falling short somewhere, and sort of private sector has to cover the gap, and that's a bit of a concern. And then with more demonstrations, more arrest, I think we're going to see a few more of these demonstrations occur over time. And I'll be honest though, I don't know what the solution is because I hear both sides.
Well,
and I don't think that
if you do find the solution, it needs to go global because I don't think anybody.
I think for me, it's about information. I mean, the literature he gave me, I asked him nicely. He gave me it was nice, and I wasn't triggered by the literature he gave me. I read the information and think I either take it or I leave it. The man that took the leaflet, the other gentleman, the one you've had slight issue with, got triggered by the paperwork. So for me, it's about controlling your emotion. So I'm like, well, that leaflet didn't offend me. I can see why other people have been offended, but that's for them to decide and control their emotions and act accordingly.
Yeah.
If everyone got triggered by a piece of literature, books like William Shakespeare wouldn't be written. The Donald Trump book wouldn't be in Waterstones. You'd have a real problem on your hands. People wouldn't write books. I think it's like comedians. They've got an audience of 100 people. If one of them's offended, an offence could possibly have been committed. Don't turn up to the comedy show. If you pay £20 to listen to what's his name, Frankie Boyle, and he offends you, you've done it to yourself. You've turned up. You paid £20 for a ticket. Don't go. So I kind of view the freedom of speech and the right to protest similar to comedians, in the sense of if you turn up to a place like this, a demonstration like this, I've seen dozens of these now. I expect all you guys in full gear, full vans, and people who disagree. But again, I don't know what the solution is. Probably more listening, probably more free speech rather than less. Because maybe we find an idea eventually about how we do find a solution, a remedy that works long term for a lot of people. It's a good job this is a demonstration about this, not Brexit. We'd be here all day.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure that's to come.
Oh yeah. Well, this is it. Come 29th of March, you guys will probably be on high alert, and
we'll be busy.
Everyone will be flat out, wondering what to do, how to go about things. I find it a little odd that they say, the security services in Europe won't tell us any intel anymore once we leave. What? Can't they pick up a phone?
Yeah.
Can't they send an email anymore? I find that unrealistic.
Yeah, it would be to everyone's benefit
to share and play nice. Yeah, and I don't think corporations share and play nice. It's human beings that share and play nice. If I have some information that's vital to the safety of a community, it's up to me to hand the information over to the relevant body, regardless of whether we're in Europe or not. I think right and wrong and freedom and safety and security should come over what country you're in, or what boundary you think exists. And I think that message gets a little bit lost with protests, because it seems to be us and them sort of thing. Got a bit deep, didn't it, for Scarborough, North Yorkshire? I went off on a bit of a tangent. I apologise.
Yeah, just seeing what you're doing, and that's good. It's good there's some potential in the opposition and have a balanced view on things.
I think the problem is when you can't compartmentalise people into the left or the right. Either side stop listening to each other, and then you don't find a common ground in the middle. And we need to find a solution. The only place you find a solution is in the middle.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can find one. And I think with common values, you need to just try and get both groups to agree on at least a couple of things. Like, do you believe in the freedom of protesting? Yes. Well, so does that group. Right. So that's a start. We're good on that. You believe in free speech? Yes. Well, good. So do they. Right, that's two out of two. Here we go. Let's see where we can go from here. I think worryingly, probably in the future, dialogue will break down, and then we've got problems on our hands, which is not what I want to see. I'd like to see a solution, but I think it's incumbent on us all to be responsible for each other, and keep an eye on our neighbours and help out and share wherever we can.
Right, looks like we're enjoying.
No, that's it.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
No, it's no worries. Take care. Have a nice day. Have a good one. we'll stop now. Right. And that's about it, guys. I think we're all done. Photography in a public place in a public space is not a crime, and badges don't grant extra rights. Okay. Take care.